Safari helicopter.
Welcome back to the Experimental Aircraft channel. I'm Brian Wallstrom, and today we are visiting Safari Helicopter in Marianna, Florida, taking a tour of their manufacturing facility. Coming up next.
Let me introduce all of you to our Purchasing and Facilities Manager, Charity. And here she is. Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Here, let me help you.
All right, so Kayla's gonna give us a quick tour of the parts room for the helicopters here.
Yeah, so in here we keep all the stuff that goes out with the kits. Let me just grab something real quick. So for example, we have, little elbow intake brackets, the intake mounting brackets, a lot of this stuff like that. And we keep it in here because whenever we do the packaging of a kit, like if somebody buys a kit, we'll pull one of these little boxes, take them out there, count piece by piece, how much we're putting in there, make sure, everything. We have a checklist to make sure that, what's supposed to be going out goes out, so we double check ourselves instead of just putting stuff in there. We have a list to go by. As we walk back here, we'll actually see parts that get machined here. So we have, for example, main rotor pitch arms, just main rotor yoke caps, all this stuff that gets made here by Jeffrey in the machining process of it. It gets designed by Wade. We have our own guy here that does the engineering for the helicopter, and once it gets done with him, then we go out there to Jeffrey and he makes the parts for us. So as we walk out here, it's gonna be loud, but that's where our machining process happens, and then all the welding, and it's basically where the helicopters are made. As you'll see as soon as you come out, this is where we keep our raw materials that get cut. It looks bare right now, but it's because a lot of stuff is being made. So raw materials, we have titanium, steel, all this scrap metal that we have here. So what we have here is the welding fabrication area. We have our welder Mikey, and he's also got somebody else that helps him, Victor. He's also a welder for us.
Or we can lay one of those up on the table. Not very big at all.
So what we have here is a 500 frame, and we actually just lifted that up from over there and brought it here, very light. Right here you have your cyclic controls. This is where the seat's gonna go, right here. We have the transmission mount down there, and then your engine mount down here.
Okay. And this is all chromoly steel.
Yes. 4130 tubing gets TIG welded by our welder Mikey.
Okay.
Yes, and it's also pressurized for leaks. So if you ever bump your frame or whatever, you can check to see if there are any cracks in the frame. What we also do to the frame, that's where this one's going to go.
Air pressure and where your oil will go down.
Okay. As you can see right here, this is where it's air pressured, and the frames are also filled with oil to prevent corrosion from the inside out. So this frame can last you forever, practically. So what we have here in the sheet metal area today is actually the 500 tail boom that's going to go on the 500 that they're working on over there, and it's all carbon fiber.
Who manufactures this carbon fiber piece for you guys?
This is actually made by Mr. Brian Alley, a really good friend of ours, and obviously a partner. He owns Carbon Fiber Composites, and he's the one that does these. He actually, I think he's more like a friend because he goes to the air shows with us. He was at Oshkosh with us, spent the whole, from the time we got there till nighttime, he was there with us the whole day. So, shout out to him. Sort of like main assembly area. where we do, repairs, annuals, or anything that needs to get done, maintenance. Right now, Dave's programming the NTL.
So what we got going on here today, Dave?
Well, we got a EFIS screen control over here on this button on the collective.
Okay.
This is EFIS on it. And what I'm trying to do is program the 4 analog inputs to run page up, page down, and left and right off this button.
Okay, so it's kind of like your mouse on the collector there, huh?
Because when you'll find one of these, your hands are kind of full. You've got controls here or controls here that you can reach without having to release the controls.
Sure. So there's plenty of headroom in here.
Oh yeah, plenty. I'm 5'1", and I still have about 10 more inches above my head.
Plenty of room in here. Here's the in-cockpit view in the shop anyway. Okay, so we're here with Kayla, who's in charge of the sales and marketing department here at Safari Helicopter, and just kind of wanted to give everybody an idea of what you do for the sales and marketing, and maybe what venues you attend during the year.
Okay, sounds great. So on a daily basis, I usually just answer phone calls and emails from interested prospects. On our website, there's a little form where people can fill out if they just have a quick little question, or if they don't want to leave the website and send us an email, they can just send it from there. So we get, about 3 or 5 maybe every other day, or sometimes every day we'll have one. I also send out the newsletter every month, but that's only a once in a month thing. And then anytime there's something interesting that going on here, I'll post it on social media or something like that. What
social media are you guys on?
We're currently on Facebook as Official Safari Helicopter, and we're also on Instagram as official_safari. I believe that's what it is.
Okay. And what venues do you guys attend during the year to showcase the helicopters and kits?
So since I've been here, I've been to Sun and Fun, which was my first air show I ever went to, and that was actually in 2018. It was actually the first time we had been there since 2014. So we're going back again this year. It was a real good experience for me and the company as well. We had a great time there. And then we also go to Oshkosh Air Adventure in Wisconsin.
Do you do any factory tours throughout the year, or is that just kind of as needed?
Actually, we don't have we don't have dates saying, hey, we have a tour this week
or
or
open
whatever.
house or something.
Yeah, but if anybody was to walk in the door and they said, hey, we're here to see, what you guys do, we'll walk them throughout, the factory or whatever. Obviously, somebody that wants to come in and look at the helicopters because they're interested, they usually get a demo flight at the end of the tour just to get them to experience the helicopter for themselves.
Okay. What are the different options available as this kit?
So for the 500 right now, we are going to sell kits and flight ready ones. We don't have a stage option for that one yet, but it is coming once we decide how it's going to be kitted or whatever. For the 400, we have 4 stages. So you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4 if you want to do your kit that way. So I actually have a document here to remind me of everything that goes in the kit. So each stage is broken up. So for example, in stage 1, you would get your cabin frame with the sheet metal, all that put on there, and the mounted bubble. You also get your installation, flight control installation package, cabin enclosure package, collective friction, and all that goes into the cabin first. It's like you kind of start from that area first, and then once you get stage 1. And whenever you're ready for stage 2, we get, we'll send you your engine mount, cooling shroud, and then you move on to stage 3, which you'll get transmission, tail rotor, drive shaft, your tail boom, and at the very end, once you're ready for your helicopter to be completely built, that's when we send you the blades, the tail rotor blades, and then your seats, carpet, all the final details. So that's one option to do it in stages. A lot of people like that because it gives them time to, if they don't have the whole amount at once, it gives them time to, say, okay, well, I can get $37,000 by stage 1.
Yeah.
And then maybe they won't be able to get the other until a couple months later or after they finish their stage 1, and then they move on to stage 2. We also have, obviously, the kits, and then the kits, they're, you can either buy them and build them yourself at home, obviously, or we do what we call like a flight ready. So basically they get built here, you come in and and help us throughout the process, you know, so that at least, you know, you're here half of the time that the building goes.
So you have two models, and that's the Safari 400, which is the original, which has been produced for many
bubble.
years. Yeah, and the newest offering is the Safari 500,
yes.
which is a good mix of the old and the new with, I understand, a carbon fiber body to it.
Yes.
And a little bit different look.
It's got a, with the 500, what Bobby was trying to do, because he designed it and had it all in his head, really, he wanted to appeal to the market that wants something that looks good, that's modern, sleek. And we actually had a customer come in here one day and he said, so this is the Ferrari version of your 400. And I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's for the people that are wanting something that's fun to fly, safe, reliable, but also looks modern and sleek.
So you've got two ends of the spectrum. One is more of a utility type helicopter. The one's
basically
more
a flying machine for you. And you know, both of them have their pros and cons. Obviously, the 500 looks nice, very pretty. You have way more, you know, design and style, and you can paint it different colors. And the 400, you know, you have that open tail boom, engine mount, all that, where you can, if you're doing your pre-flight, you can just see it all.
Everything's
there.
exposed.
Everything's exposed. To where the 500, you're still going to be able to do that, but you know, now you're going to have to go through opening the panels and looking in there, and you know, it just depends on what you want to do. Okay, so our kits for the 400, it's $142,000. The flight rate is $183,000, and that includes everything except your avionics. Because the reason we don't include that, everyone has their own preferences onto what they want to do. So we let, you know, the customer decide what they want to put in, and then they can either tell us and we'll buy it for them and they just pay us, you know, whatever we spend on them, or they can just ship them here. I mean, it depends on what they want to do. And the 500, currently the kit is $154, and the flight ready is $195.
Okay. Do you guys have any other dealers that represent you across the world, and what do they offer?
So we actually have one in New Zealand, and it, you know, if you can't get a hold of him, you call us and we'll get you in touch with him. Or obviously his information is also published on our website under dealers. You can find it there. But we also have some here in the U.S. itself. We have Synergy Air, and Vadim, he's actually here today. He's out in Oregon, and he just opened his new location in Atlanta. So he's somebody else that can help if you're out in that area. That can help you build your helicopter.
The Rotor Blades. What brand of Rotor Blades do you guys carry or
Safari brand.
Safari brand, huh?
Yeah, we actually make those here. We were making them out in the hangar that we have, but we actually just moved the whole thing into here. Once, you know, we got the whole office remodeled, we got one of the rooms back there situated to where blades could made actually here. They were already made by us, now they're made here by us.
That's amazing. I'm here now with Bobby Baker, who's the owner of Safari Helicopter, and we'll get a few questions answered and asked. So Bobby, how did Safari Helicopter come to be? I know the design's been around for many years, and then you acquired it, so can you tell us just a little bit about the background?
Well, it started out in 1953. The first one flew in 1954. It was designed by a man up in New York, and then it went to a couple of guys up in upstate New York. And then Murray Sweet bought it in 1978 and took it to Ear Falls, Ontario, Canada. And it was there that he took in some partners, and I think there were 6 of them. And in 2005, or about 2000, they moved down a little office here in Marianna, Florida. And then in 2005, me and my wife come into it.
Oh, that long? I didn't realize. Always since 2005.
Yeah, about 2005.
Okay.
And we were basically running it until 2009. And in 2009, we bought them out.
So being that this design has been around since the 50s, how many are you guessing that are now currently flying?
We're in touch with probably 180 of them. There's probably 200, 250 of them that's out there.
Yeah, okay. And we talked to Kayla earlier, and she explained the different models. You've got the Safari 400, and the newest is the Safari 500, which debuted about a year ago now for the first flight and show. And
That is correct. It is a all carbon fiber body. It does have a steel chromoly tubing frame in it. We are using the same running gear, same engine, same transmissions, that kind of thing.
so does it just a little bit different look to it, or is it a little bit faster because of the sleek design?
It is quite a bit faster and quite a bit lighter.
Okay.
So performance-wise, it's going to be a step up from where we were at.
So you've got more of a useful load and it's faster.
Is exactly right. The current model, the 400, is roughly around 1,020 pounds. This one will end up being somewhere about 980, and with any luck, maybe a little bit lighter than that.
Yeah.
But as the prototype goes, it's around 980 is to a 970 will be a pretty good number.
Okay.
So the useful load will go up considerably.
Okay. And which engines are used or options available again?
Well, right now we only use the IO 360s or 0360.
Which is 180?
180 horsepower. The 500 will be using IO 360. It will not be a carbureted because of the enclosure around the engine. It needs to be fuel injected. Other than that, we use Superior Aerosport Lycomies.
You have a menu for options for the
Yeah,
customer.
different models, but basically it's a 360.
So Kayla mentioned to us earlier that you guys actually manufacture your own rotors in-house. I figured it was like an off-the-shelf thing, but no, it's here.
No, we've been making the composite rotor that we build now is we've been building for roughly about 15 or 16 years. Knock on wood, we have not had a delamination in all that time. It is a composite of an aluminum spar and about 14 layers of carbon fiber and about four layers of fiberglass.
Okay.
It's a very stiff blade, 12-foot blade with an 8-inch cord. It is a symmetrical blade. It does a very good auto. It's about almost 40 pounds per blade, so you get a lot of inertia in the blade.
Sure, yeah.
So it really does for a really nice flying.
Just to get a little personal for a second, I'd like to find out, like, what is your background in aviation, and you know, how did this come to be as far as for you and your passion for helicopters and so forth?
Well, actually, helicopters has always been a love. Since I was sitting in a barbershop looking at a popular mechanics book.
Okay.
But it was so far out there that you never dreamed that you would actually get to do this.
Yeah.
I got into aviation when I owned a trucking company and needed to go to different offices that we had. So I got my pilot's license, and then I went and got my A&P license to be able to work on my own airplane and keep the costs down.
Sure.
And then when we got out of the trucking business in 2005, when I moved to Marianna, I come in the building here because I was bored and needed something to do.
So by chance,
Yeah.
you walked into this local,
Well,
I mean, you knew it was here, but
actually, we had a grass runway that's a little bit north of here, and one of the guys here that does all the training, he kind of flew in up there and wanted to use my grass strip, and I said, "Why, sure," you know.
Yeah.
And before long, I was down here doing some work for them, and they needed somebody to run the office, so my wife come in and started running the office, and we just kind of
progressively moved in, huh?
progressively moved in, and it worked out to a dream that you never thought you'd get into.
Yeah.
And it's always been a passion, but never an opportunity, because people think that helicopters are very, very expensive. And back years ago, and And if you go certified today, it is still very expensive. In the experimental world, this is about $37 an hour operating cost on an aircraft, which is roughly about like a Cessna 150.
Okay.
It's down where it's low enough that general aviation people that's flying Part 91 can actually fly a helicopter and enjoy it. And if you go certified, then you feel like you have to have a commercial license and work it commercially to be able to afford to
Absolutely.
to operate it.
Right.
And it's it's a niche in the market that that kind of serves a purpose to let us guys that really love helicopters do helicopters.
Sure. Just to touch again on the newest model you've got out, which is the Safari 500. What are some of the key features and design points that you, as the designer, built into it and thought are very unique for it?
Well, obviously the carbon fiber is the
Sure.
way of the future, and lighter and stronger, and I think will make a big difference in aviation in years to come. But also there's some other designs in it that change things of how we do. We have isolators for the body, which isolates, it's just like a car body on a frame. You don't bolt it directly, which the 400 is.
Okay.
So we've changed that up and try to isolate some of the vibrations and make it feel better to fly. There's torque tubes in the landing gear to where it gives when you hit the ground, and the gears will spread and squat. And
Those are kind of a built-in suspension to
yeah,
it.
kind of a built-in suspension that the 400 did not have. And of course, it being enclosed like it is, you will fly a lot with the doors on it, which will be a lot quieter and temperature controlled. And my intentions are down the road here is to put air conditioning in it also.
Oh, really? Okay.
And,
I imagine with any helicopter, you've got that bubble canopy, so in the heat of the summer and the sun, it definitely can get a little bit warm at times.
Absolutely. And where I live in places like South America and places that are really hot, that air conditioner will go a long way.
Yeah. Or you fly with the doors off and you've got that.
That is correct. And we have tested it with the doors off of it, and it flies very, very well.
Yeah.
But it's also windy and noisy and that kind of thing, like any helicopter with the doors off.
Sure.
So with the doors on it and all sealed up, then everything's a lot quieter, and if you have some air conditioning, that would go a long way. And as far as I know, I don't think there's another two-seat helicopter on the market that actually has air conditioning in it.
That'd be nice.
You know, that's the Safari has a lot of things that a lot of the two-seat helicopters does not have. It has a governor and electric trim and correlator and collective friction, and it has all the things that the big boys have on a little helicopter. We can do full glass cockpits, full IFR, basically anything you want. We design and build a trailer that you can fly it on and be ready to roll in about 10 minutes. The racks on it and the things to clamp down the blades. And the way the Safari is designed is you can trailer it without taking blades off of it. We use roller bearings. Therefore you can travel down the road with it, and it doesn't beat up the bearings to the point that you have to take the blades off.
Oh, okay. So other ones that haven't that much mechanical
That is correct. When you're
moment
running
to it, you can put a lot of stress on the
a
bearings.
rubber bearing in there,
Yeah,
which
okay.
they call elastomeric,
I see.
is it pretty much beat those bearings up pretty bad traveling down the road, because that's steady movement on them.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to purchase a Safari helicopter, of course they have to get training. Where would they go to get training, or being this is an experimental in a kit, how is it legally to get, what's the process of that?
That's the the fiction out there, everybody thinks they need to get their license before they get a helicopter. Well, if you go to a flight school and get helicopter training, it's very expensive.
Sure.
And that goes into the cost of owning a helicopter.
Absolutely.
So the cheapest way to do that is to own your helicopter, build your kit. When you get through building your kit, take all of your lessons in your own helicopter. We're, as far as I know, about the only experimental helicopter on the market that has check ride pilots through the FAA to go ahead and take your check ride in your own helicopter.
Wow, okay.
So
is that throughout the country or just here locally? Or?
Well, there's 3 around the country that will do check rides for us, and there's CFIs everywhere that have flown the Safari and do flight training in the Safari. Well, you ready to go get high?
Ready.
Master on, instruments on. Got throttle turned a little bit. We'll just crack it just a little bit. Turn our mags on. Clear.
Thank you, Kayla, for giving us a shop tour of Safari Helicopter. And if anybody wanted to get more information, you mentioned your Facebook and your Instagram. We'll go ahead and mention that one more time.
Okay, so our Facebook is Official Safari Helicopter, and you might find Safari Helicopter, which is the hosting of the Official Safari Helicopter, and then our Instagram is Safari_helicopter. We got it right this time.
Okay, and your website is just Safari.
www.safarihelicopter.com, and you'll find all kind of information on there. There's also little submission entry boxes where you can send a message directly to us if you have any questions, and our phone numbers and all that's on there as well.
Great. And will you guys be at Sun and Fun this year?
We are. We'll be there. We'll be doing demo rides on the 500. So if anyone's interested in getting a demo ride there, you can go ahead and call us and get your name written down to be put on the schedule.
Excellent. Okay. Thanks again. Appreciate it.